Yo, what's up, guys? This is Joey Bada Bing 22, your local mailman. And today I have like the jitters. I have everything inside of me. I'm like a creepy crawler. I can't even do it. But dude, this is Harry Tornado, the man, the legend, Josh. Everyone say hi to Josh.
What's up, you guys?
So I'm so excited to have you on here. We were just talking backstage just a little bit. So Josh, how was your day today? Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what's up, man.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on. I'm super excited. You are by far the most energetic person I have encountered on YouTube, and I love it. I love your energy. I love just your passion, man. It's contagious. I love it. My day today, it was okay. It's just one of those days where you're just not really motivated, which makes me super grateful that I am my own boss, because I can just list like 5 things, and then if I want to go play Nintendo Switch for a little bit, I can. If you had a real job, you'd have to go in and still try to perform and not get in trouble, because even if you're doing stuff you love, like I love reselling, I love doing YouTube videos, but you still get burnt out on it. So that saying, like, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. That's not true. Occasionally you'll have days where you just don't feel like working, but I still got a lot of stuff done. Went to the post office Mondays. I'm not going to trust my temporary driver on Mondays he didn't even, I don't know if the routes that you guys run are super complicated, but like my normal lady gets here every day. She works between like 12 and 1, like clockwork. Like usually right at 12:30, she comes right out. But this guy, he didn't get here today until like 4:45. I'm like, is it that hard to like take over somebody's route that you're 4 hours late?
Well, with that, what it might be is that they might split up the route. So like, let's just say like there's 5 shelves on a route. So they might split it up and just give it to that guy, and he's doing it at the end of the day, if that makes sense. So he does his own route
stuff and then her stuff.
Exactly. So like he'll do his own route and then he'll come and do your route at the end of the day. That's why he's coming at like 4:30.
And even if he comes that late, and another thing I don't like about those temp drivers, man, the guy, that same guy, I specifically asked him one day, it was like, I don't know, a month ago. I was like, hey man, can you please just make sure you scan these in? Because these have to be like, this is eBay, I'm on a deadline. You have to scan these in when you get them. He's like, yeah, I got you. And I watched him. He just took him out my IKEA bag and threw him on the truck. Didn't scan them. I was like, I just asked you to scan them.
See, like whenever someone gives me a package, because I know now, because even from you when you were like, hey, Joey, like, what do I do in this situation when they don't scan the package and it's just out there and you don't see where it's going? I always scan that package just so like the customer knows, like right in front of them. And they're like, thank you so much for scanning it. Because you guys know, like, if they don't scan it, it's not going through, it's not, it'll say delivered when it gets there, but
it's just, I drive it every Monday, man. Last week, the holiday weekend, I went, so the normal post office, we're talking about post office, but we got a whole hour. We'll talk about me later on. So but the post office that I normally go to, there's only 2 people that work there, but they are the only 3. I trust you. The only 2 of the only 3 postal workers I trust. And they both work there, but because there's only 2 of them, they take their lunch break at the same time. So that post office is closed every day from 1 to 2. And I forgot about that. And it's like 17 minutes away from my house. I actually passed another post office on the way. I passed 2 post offices on the way.
Really?
I know that they're going to scan my stuff in. And that day, it was a holiday weekend. So I think I had like 38 packages or something. And I was on the way there. I was 15 minutes away. It was like 12:47. I was like, oh my gosh, like they're not going to be there. So I get there, run up to the door. It's the thing's pulled down. I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
We were going somewhere, I think, that night. So I went to like the big post office downtown, waited in line. She's like, do you want to just drop these off? And I said, no, I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't want to just drop them off.
You don't trust it. No, seriously, there's no trust. I mean,
I went up there and poor lady had to scan them. I was almost embarrassed because there was probably 30 people behind me in line and they only had 2 registers open. But I'm like, sorry, guys.
Yeah. Hey, whatever you got to do for your own business, I mean, I would do the same exact thing. If I knew I had a bunch of packages and you had that ordeal, I would do the same exact thing because I want my packages to go out correctly. Like, even though I bring my packages to work and I scan them with my own scanner. I do the prepaid acceptance, and then I put it in like the outgoing where like I would usually like people would give it to like the clerks, but I just do it myself because I want to make sure it's getting sent out, you know? So
Rev Resale, same in the chat. It says, Josh, do the bulk labels scan in with one scan. I've tried to do that in the past. Like, I don't think my mail lady understands what it is, honestly, because I've gave her like my packages and then gave her the label, and she's like, "Oh, thanks." And then I hear her like individually scanning all my packages. And like other times I'll leave it in the mailbox. I'm like, maybe she can just pull it and scan it, and she just leaves it in the mailbox. So
this is your regular mail lady?
Yeah, that's the regular mail lady.
Yeah, that's
the ones
funny.
At the post, I usually don't do the bulk scan because it's complicated. Like I usually just drop the packages off and they scan them. I trust them completely. And then the one time I did do the bulk scan, they had to they were super busy, so they couldn't like separate them, and they didn't want to scan them later. So they had to keep my IKEA bags and put them off to the side. And it's just easier for them to scan everything. Normally, if I knew I was having to go to that big post office that day, I would have definitely done the bulk label thing.
Gotcha. So I'm going to hit you with a couple questions real quick.
Go for it.
So I probably already know this answer, but maybe other people don't know. What made you become a reseller? Like in a nutshell, just tell us like about that.
So I was born to be an entrepreneur, man. Ever since I was little, like any opportunity to make money, I was just upset. I remember when I was like, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 years old, I was listening to like the adults in the room have a conversation, and this guy, he's like a family friend. He was talking about his new job, and he was like, "Yeah, I make $400 a week," and this was in like 1997 or something. And I was like,
when I was born.
Yeah, like I was 8 years old, and I was like, dude, you know what I could do with $400 a week? Like ever since that moment, I was like, all right, money. Like not like obsessed with it, but like just really focused. Like I wanted to earn money. I remember doing like fundraisers and stuff in high school, like selling like Christmas wrapping paper for like fundraisers. And I was like, yo, if you buy some wrapping paper from me, I'm gonna give you this pen for free. Enticing people in. Like, my mind has always been wired for business. So I don't know. It was just fun. I was selling like sodas and candy. Like we would have fundraisers for my golf team that was on in high school, like selling chocolate bars out of this like cardboard thing. And the teachers knew if you had one of the cardboard containers, you were doing a fundraiser and you could sell. So I would sell out of that until the fundraiser was over. And then I'd keep the box and fill it up with my own candy and continue to sell. And they're like, they would never question me because I had the box, So it was, I don't know, I've just always been like that. So reselling gave me, that fulfillment of my entrepreneurial endeavors, I guess, as well as the freedom, as well as it's probably the easiest business to start in terms of like the money you need and the experience you need. There's not really other businesses I can think of that you can start like as low as like you literally start with like $5 and go to the bins and buy stuff and flip that and make 20 or 30 and just keep flipping that. And then you can take that same model and build it up to making, $30,000 to $50,000 a year pretty reasonably. And you can take that same model, the basics of it, and extend it to making millions of dollars a year with wholesale and pallets and stuff. So I like it. It's basically a risk-free business. I've never maybe once or twice I've lost money on a deal. I didn't have to take out a loan, to do anything. I'm not worried about my business going under. I'm not worried about my business is online, so I don't have to worry about it being looted or anything, So it's just, there's no negative to reselling in my opinion.
So I want to ask you, so you have like your inventory all in your garage. Have you ever thought about having your own yard sale before? Have you ever had one like at your own house, like the items that you've had, like let's just say for a year or 2 years? Like, what would you do that? You never thought about it? I
wanted to. Like, my wife is kind of iffy about like just having strangers come over, but like anytime somebody comes over to buy like a single item, like I found this drum. I don't know anything about drums. It was like I don't know, just a round drum with legs. And I saw it as a table project because the drum was like totally beat up. and I listed it on Facebook for like $40 or something. I advertised it as a drum table. And this guy came over and he was like, showing me all the stuff on the drum. He's like, this is a something drum from the 50s that goes to this set. And I'm like, cool. Like, I hope you sell it for, like, he flipped drums. He drove like an hour just to buy it. I'm like, cool, man. Like, I got my $40. I paid like $1 for it. Hope you sell it for thousands, whatever. And I had just a bunch of other crap in the garage. And I was like, hey, look at it. It's not organized. You can dig through whatever you want, buy whatever you want. I think I sold him like 6 or 7 things that I had just sitting there. I had this big, like, I got it at a yard sale. It was like 2 huge speakers with like it's like a tape player, an 8-track player, and a what do you call it? Record player. I got it for like $5, and I thought I was going to sell it locally, but it was just taking up too much space in the garage. So I was like, hey, you want that? Because he had already bought like 5 or 6 things at the time. And I was like, hey, just take it. Just take it and get it out of here. So I guess that's the closest thing to a yard sale I've done. I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of work to actually set up an appropriate yard sale. And then it's a struggle between, like, do you want to get rid of your things quickly? Or I'm worried that if I go through the trouble of setting up the yard sale and start selling things, I'll regret it, because I'm like, oh, I just sold that for 5, but I could get 18 for that on eBay. Right. Like, I'm going to see the missed revenue.
See, I was thinking about that today. Like, if I have inventory that I've had from my first, pickups at like Goodwill or at a flea market or something, would I go make or go do a yard sale and just try to get rid of those items, or should I just donate them back to Goodwill? That's why I wanted to ask you that question. If you ever had an item.
I'd say at least once a month I go through my death pile and just fill up an IKEA bag at least and just take it to Goodwill and redonate it. I have a lot of crap and I'm not organized, but I'm definitely not a hoarder. Like, I have no problem letting go of stuff, even if stuff is profitable. If it's just like a pair of shoes that's worth like $30 cleaned up, but they're really dirty and I'm not sure they're going to clean up, I'll just redonate them. Because I think that's a good way to learn your lesson about, like, just buying bad stuff. Like, now I'm not going to, if I'm not 100% sure I can clean a pair of shoes, I'm not going to buy them, because I know I'm just going to redonate them in a month,
Right.
Profits, not projects.
Exactly. That's what Rally Root says. And I think that's true. I don't want to bring something home and have to do like, oh, let me get this piece or this part or this and this. No, you could sell that for a part. You don't have to go through the ups and downs to go get the item perfect. You could sell it as is, and that's what's cool about reselling. My next question is, when you worked for, I think it was an insurance company, right?
Yeah.
When you got that job, you have that entrepreneurship. When you first went to that job, knowing that you had to work that 9 to 5 every single day, how did that make you feel? Like, knowing that you have that entrepreneurship, what made you go to work every day and have that feeling where, I could do reselling, or I could do that entrepreneurship as I did in high school, selling like the chocolate bars,
Yeah. I feel like I was almost taking the easy way out. Like, so I started as an insurance agent selling insurance, and some months it would be really good. Like, and, I thought I was king of the world, and other months I wouldn't sell anything, and it's just an insurance sale. It's not like car sales. Like, if you're at car sales, you sell the car, and then as long as they don't bring it back within 3 days, you're pretty much in the clear. But like with insurance, you had to service your policies too. So like, in theory, the more you sold, the more work you would create. So if you had a really good month of sales, you would have more work to do on all those policies you sold last month so you couldn't focus on selling new policies. Some people have it worked out to where they can do it, but I didn't. So I just felt like I was spinning my wheels there. I mean, I had some months where I'd make like $800 for the whole month, it just wasn't cutting it. So we had this company in Colombia that does like insurance processing or something, and they had a position for an underwriter, which was what I thought was perfect for me at the time, because I could use all my insurance knowledge. I had to take the test and get licensed and all that stuff, so I didn't want to waste all that. And it was like a salary position. There's no sales. It was just like the agents would sell the policies, and I would like review the home inspections and make sure the house was okay to be insured. It was super easy. I knew how to do it. It was salaried, had benefits. I didn't have benefits in my other job. Had PTO, had 20 days of PTO a year. which was like 4 weeks or something.
What is PTO?
And then my first year, I started in August, I think, or something. I don't know. I had 2 weeks that carried over. So my second year, I had 6 weeks of PTO. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I could just take a day off and still get paid. I'd never had a job like that before. So I had that mindset that like, this is what adults do. You don't follow your dreams. You do jobs like this forever, and you just work your way up, and you have PTO and vacation and benefits and stuff. And I was fine with that. I still did reselling. I was doing, I think I had like 200 active listings on eBay. I had my YouTube channel. I was probably making like $1,000 a month between the two or something. And then bam, lit off randomly. Yeah. So I don't know. Like
that must have been really, really tough. Well, not really, because you knew that you had this going, you had the YouTube channel going, you had eBay reselling, like you had that, and your wife to support you and like to say, yo, you can do it, keep it going. Like, and then you had that drive. Like, I remember watching all your videos and just from, months ago when I watched them all. But I just remember how you took that and motivated yourself to be like, you know what, this is me and this is what I love. And that's what made me be like, kind of like you, like I followed in your footsteps, but in my own way. But I just appreciate what you did and how you did it. And and how you analyzed what to do to get to where you were. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think like my biggest thing, like while I was at work, I had 3 computer monitors. So like one of them was always playing YouTube videos. Like I was just listening to stuff. It was back when Lonnie and John and Justin had their morning show. I was listening to that every day. And I was just so jealous that these guys, like for me, I was doing my full-time job. And then on my lunch break, I was thrifting. And every time I went to the bathroom, I was listing stuff or updating listings. And when I got home, I'd list some stuff while my wife took the dog for a walk or something. I was just filling in all this free time with reselling. I'm like, man, wouldn't it be awesome if I could this was my job. Like just my only responsibility professionally was making videos and selling stuff on eBay. So I don't know. I didn't, when I got laid off and thought about doing this full time, I think what made it possible was that we weren't in a bind financially. Like I got a little severance package from my job and we had savings as is. So I was like, let's just try it out. If it doesn't work, I can always find another job later. Right. So I did that. I think one of the things that made it clear that I was doing what I was supposed to do is that I applied for a new job like that night, I think, like the same night I got laid off. Right. And it was another underwriter position just with health insurance instead of home insurance. But the qualifications and like everything they were looking for was like me to a T, like everything. Like you see the job description and you're like, man, that stuff's already on my resume.
Right.
And my mother-in-law worked at the same company. She knew the hiring manager. Like I was like, okay, this is cool. I got this job. And I never even got a call for come in for an interview or anything. And the only explanation I could think of was that God just didn't want me to take that job. Because if I would have, I've never had a job interview where I didn't get hired. I don't say that to brag. I just do a lot of research about a company. I'm just a good interviewer, I guess.
Right.
But I know if they would have called me in for an interview, they probably would have hired me and I probably would have accepted and I would be working there and I wouldn't be nearly as active on YouTube. I wouldn't be who I am today. Wouldn't be wearing a bandana right now. I'm probably wearing a tie or something.
Right.
So I'm super thankful that I didn't get that call back.
I'm super thankful.
Yeah. So everything's worked out. But again, I think we were able, even with reselling, when it's not a huge risk, you don't have to take out a loan or anything like that. But it's still a risk not knowing, like losing insurance and losing benefits and stuff and having to build up a big enough income from reselling to, support yourself and not only support yourself, you can't pull out everything from reselling. You got to keep buying stuff. So now we're finally in a position where I can, find a Nintendo Switch. I posted on Instagram. I could buy a Nintendo Switch for $450 on Facebook and flip it the same day for $700. If you're living paycheck to paycheck or you're trying to do reselling with $50 in your pocket, you're missing out on deals like that or the easy $200 profit flips. If you're just going to, keep flipping stuff from the bins and pulling out everything you make to live off of, you're not going to build your business like that.
Right. That's actually a good lead up question. when you started off, as everyone does, they start with the little things. Have you started to scale up a little bit more, or have you felt like, hey, let me step up the game, let me step up, purchasing bigger items and trying to flip them for more? Have you ever like thought about that?
I mean, like the switch and stuff. Like
Yeah.
my business now is like, if I see a deal that I can make money on,
Mhm.
I can buy it within reason. I mean, I
Mhm.
know two Aussie thrifters spent like 20 grand on a video game collection. I guess I could do that,
Uh-huh.
but I don't think me and my wife would not be able to do that kind of deal.
Like that was a big purchase.
That was a big
The,
purchase. That's
the,
big. But if I like the video game collection, $1,000, I was
yeah,
like,
that's
hey
what I was
Haley,
about
is
to
it cool if I do $1,000 deal here? And we talked about it for like 2 minutes and we were fine. Spent $1,000, made it back in 2 days. Now I just hit $1,000 in profit on that deal
say. Nice.
yesterday, I think. And I probably haven't even listed half of it. So
That's
just the
awesome.
ability to not be so dependent on a steady income. I mean, reselling is fairly steady. I don't think I've had a single day where I haven't sold something. But I had a $2,000 sales day last week, and then the next day it was like $68. So it just comes in waves. You've got to be financially responsible enough to not pull out all of your money. You've got to have the ability to leave that cushion in there to support your business when you have deals you got to make.
Hmm. So my next question is when you did the full month of YouTube, how was that? How was it to be like, oh, I gotta make a video, or oh my God, I can't wait to make a video? Like how did you feel about that?
It was really fun at first. I mean, looking back, it was fun every time, but I've never wanted YouTube to be like stressful, because if you're stressed about making a video that day, it's going to be really hard to record it and not come off as being stressed. So that's why, like, my last few videos of the vlog, I was honest. I'm like, daily vlogs suck, because
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't be chipper and I couldn't be the normal, energetic, happy Josh that everybody expected, because you'd be able to see right through it. So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll just make a video about how I actually feel. Like, I'm never going to do daily vlogs again.
Right.
I mean, it's fun. It's hard, man. Like, trying to run a business, because I mean, every day you got to film something. You got to come up with a trick shot for that day. You got to come up
Yeah.
with content. You got to, Mondays were cool because my content was set for the day. It was just what I sold over the weekend.
Mhm.
But then if you've got 25 orders that you're trying to pull and film and talk about, and then you're done filming, but now you got to pack 25 orders and take them to the post office. Oh, I didn't film. Let me go back to the post office and get a clip at the post office. And it's hard to balance those two, especially when you're the only one doing everything,
So
So
how
it was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I did it, but I'm not going to do it again.
yeah, how did you balance listing at the same time? Like how
I
difficult?
honestly wasn't.
You
Like,
weren't?
for the
Okay.
whole month of April, I might have listed like 40 things, maybe. I was just I was feeding off the quarantine, man. Like, I still had good sales. And I know if I would have listed more stuff, I would have had way more sales. But my sales stayed pretty much the same because of the quarantine.
Mhm.
So I did not capitalize on that time. I mean, I listed all my video game stuff and all the stuff that was like inflated in prices, but like, I still have a death pile. Like, I don't even think I touched my death pile. Like, I was just focusing on, I was making enough sales to give me a decent enough income, give me something to pack up and ship out every day and make a video about. And
Mhm.
by the time I did all that, I just didn't have any energy left to list.
So a bunch of people in the chat are saying the trick shots. What made you do the trick shots at the end? Like what got you to make you do that? Because I loved it. I was hyping you up. I was like, the video at the end, like it's gonna be a trick shot. Like how did you set that up? Like what made you do that?
I think one day the first video I sold like 5 or 6 things, and I was just sitting here in the office. I was like, all right, what can I do next? I've only got like 4 minutes of content in this video. And I think I had a golf club in here that I was going to sell, and I had a ping pong ball. I was like, oh, I'll just chip it into the thing. Just say that's part of my daily routine, that I just do trick shot every day. And it just started. People liked it. People commented and said it was cool. I'm like, all right, we'll keep going. but then I got too advanced too quickly. I was like, I'm gonna do a
You were
trick shot
like,
every day. But by day
You're like,
3, I was like smacking it off the ceiling over into the cup on the stove. I'm like, all right, this is pretty hard, and I've got 27 days left. So that's what made it harder as you went on. Because I'm like, I did all these cool trick shots. Some of them took 2 or 3 hours to do. Yeah, I spent more time in April doing trick shots than listing. 100% positive.
That's awesome. My favorite one was the toilet paper one. That was so funny.
That was
and you
tough.
couldn't. You were like, I got to do it the next day. You were like at 150, and you're like, I'm done. I can't do this.
Yeah, that took forever. It means you got to be perfect.
Yeah. How many listings do you have currently right now?
I think I'm down to like 350 actually, because
I remember you were at like 500.
Yeah, I think I was at like 560, like right before quarantine started, and that's when I stopped listing but kept selling. So I mean, I was selling probably 6 to 8 things a day and not listing anything. So that just cut me down to like 400 or something. And then lately, sales have just been really good. Like I've listed a ton of stuff lately from the video game lot, but it's all selling instantly. So it's good, but it's not helping me get my listings back up. So my sell-through rate, I think I have 340 something listed, but like almost 700 sold. So like my sell-through rate is almost 200%.
Oh wow!
So it's good. Sales are fun, but it's just can't get. I used to be that guy that like, oh, I hit 500 active listings. That's awesome. I'm at 1,000, and like Daily Refinement wants to do 10,000. But you realize like the more you list, if you're listing good items, the harder it's going to be to hit those numbers. Like I'd be fine with staying with 350 active listings forever. If I can make $5,000 a month with 350 active listings, I'm done. I don't need 1,000 listings.
Let me ask you a question just for my personal self, because I'm still learning. I'm completely new to this. It's kind of like a question I've had, but I really haven't asked anybody. So currently right now I have 74 listings right now. You're allowed to have 50 free listings. So now every month when it renews, like that 31 days, am I having to pay for those 24 items that I'm?
So you have 50 free you have 50 free listings per month.
I just have the base. I don't even have a store. I just have I have 50 free just automatically, right?
Pretty sure you don't have a store, like the 50 free is only for the first month. So after that first month, you're probably having to pay insertion fees on all 73.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I usually tell you, like I've done the break even, I think around 75 items. Like once you have 75 active items in your store, it would be cheaper to get the 20. It used to be a $20 a month store, but now it's like 22 or something. Because that way you get, I think the $22 a month store has 250 active listings for free. And anything, I think 75 is the cutoff. If you have 75 or more, it's cheaper to get that $22 a month store.
I really need to look into that, because I wanted to ask you today.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like 75 times 30 cents, whatever that is. Is it 30 cents or 35 cents?
I think it's 35.
Calculator app. 75 times
$6.25.
Yeah, $26.25. So you could get the $22 a month store, and you could list up to 250 for cheaper than you. It's probably like 60. So something like that. I don't know.
I'm probably gonna get it.
Selling, like for serious, if you want to actually make serious money with it, just get that $22 a month store. You get the free shipping supplies. You get, you only save money if you have like about 60 or less listings.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been staying at like 50, and then like whenever like the quarantine like stopped and we were able to go to Goodwill and like go out again, I started to get more items, and now I'm filling it up, and I'm like, what do I do now, since I'm probably gonna have to pay? I didn't know I didn't I didn't know I was gonna have to pay for all 72 items, so I really need to look into that.
I see a lot of people say that like, yeah, I tried to sell something, but it sat on eBay for like 6 months. It didn't sell. And then I had to pay $35. I'm like, what are you doing? You shouldn't just get a store. Like if you get a store, you never pay insertion fees. You don't pay anything unless the item sells.
Gotcha.
So like I said, if you it's $22 a month, is your business worth $22 a month? If not, then get another business, not say that to you, just in general.
Right.
I think it's worth it. I think eBay does a lot of things poorly, but I think their store setup is one of the best things they have. You really get a lot of value in the stores.
Gotcha.
And I know they have the cheaper stores, like Summers 422 says get the $7.95 store. No, I just think, I mean, what's the difference? $7.95 and $22. You know, that's like one sale.
Basically,
I just went straight for the 22, and I never regret it. That you get the free shipping supplies at 22, you get access to Terapeak at 22, you get 250 active listings. I mean, that for most hobby sellers, just get you're going to save money just to get in that store.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. Well, I'm actually gonna do that. So I want to ask you, what was your favorite purchase that you've ever flipped before?
Favorite purchase,
like your favorite like Goodwill find or your favorite like yard sale find, and then you flipped it.
Favorite. I mean, the video game haul is really good because it was such a good deal that I almost felt bad about it.
Who did you buy it from? Like where?
It was just this guy on Facebook. He had sent me a friend request like 3 years ago, and I had no idea who he was. And he was just trying to get me to join his MLM. Like he was from the same town as me. And he was like, "You want an opportunity for increase your income?" I'm like, I ignored him, but I accepted his friend request. And he posted, not like on Facebook Marketplace, just as a post, that he posted a picture of everything he had. And he's like, "Hey, I'm selling my video game collection. Let me know what you're interested in." And by the time, I think I found out like a day late. So like he had an N64 that he already sold. He sold some controllers and stuff. And I messaged him like, "Hey dude, I'll take everything, like everything in the pictures. I'll buy it all. One snap. One snap. That's done." And he was like, "Yeah, I've got a couple people wanting some stuff, so I'll let you know." And I was like, whatever. So I just kind of forgot about it. And like a month later, he messaged me and sent me pictures of what he had left. And I was like, "Yeah, I want it." And I was like, "I can do like $1,000 on everything." He's like, "I was thinking more like 2,000." And I wasn't lying, but at the time I was like, that's probably close to retail. Like I've got to be able to make money. You know, if I pay you 1,000, by the time I'd pay eBay fees and shipping everything, and the time I might make $800 in profit, and it's going to take me like a month to do all the work. So, you know, at the time I thought that was true. So he's like, "Can you do 1,200?" And in my head, I was like, "Well, you already came down $800 from your first dollar." I'm like, "I'm going to stick with my 1,000 just because it's nice and even." And he was like, "All right, that's fine." So after I got it home and got everything unpacked, I realized that I probably should have paid him 1,200, if not like 1,500.
Right.
But it's good. Like that's probably my most exciting flip. Maybe I just feel that way because it's my newest flip. The time I picked that guy's garage, like right before quarantine, I got the mountain bike, the torque wrench.
That was a good
2 lanterns, all that stuff. I mean, I sold the mountain bike to a viewer for $300. I paid $150 for everything. I sold the bike for $300. I kind of regret selling the bike for that little because I probably could have got like $600 for the bike.
Oh wow!
I was just ignorant. I didn't know anything about the bikes, so sold that for $300. Still doubled my money. I sold the wrench for $125. I still have the lanterns. I sold some other stuff out of there. I think some Snap-on, like a timing light or something. I don't remember, but that was a good flip. One of my best Goodwill finds. I'll show you this. Hold on one second.
What's up, everybody?
I found this yesterday, 2 days ago. It's one of those Nickelodeon alarm clock things. Yeah. I used to have one of these when I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8. What year did it come out? 1998, 1995. So I got these the year they came out. So I was like 5 years old. Christmas time, 1995. I got this. I got the phone. I feel like there was 3 or 4 things that came out. But I found this. It's dark purple. It's $1.92. It works like a champ.
Are you gonna keep that?
I'm gonna sell it.
You're gonna sell it?
I think sold comps on this for like $100 to $120. There's one that's sold like new in box, which is it's just amazing that people still have stuff like this new in box. I think that one sold for like $450 or something. It's crazy. I wish I could go back and just tell my mom to not let me open any of my Christmas presents until I turned 30 years old. That was cool. This is just fun. It's a really profitable item. I've been to thrift stores for 5 years now, and I've never seen anything like this. So this was just a nostalgic find that's also really profitable. Pay $1.92, probably sell for over $100. What is that? It's a Nickelodeon alarm clock. Nickelodeon came out with a bunch of accessories. There was an alarm clock and a phone. And I think there was 2 other things, so I don't remember. But it like makes noises and sound effects and stuff. It's dumb, but it's nostalgic.
So, when you go out like to Goodwill or to a yard sale, do you still like look up comps, or do you feel like you're confident enough, like I can get that item and I know what that is, or do you feel more confident like going into like Goodwills and stuff?
If I've bought or sold the item in the past, then I don't look up comps anymore. Like, I mean, I guess I just have a good memory when it comes to like dollar amounts of stuff. Like I'll see stuff and I'm like, oh, I remember I bought that and I thought I was going to make money on it and I still have it, so I'm not going to buy that again. Or, oh yeah, I found like those little mini tape recorders. I don't look those up anymore. I just buy them because I know I've flipped like 6 of them and they all sell between $35 and $75. You know, anything new in the package, I'm just going to buy it. I'm not like, I found those like Polaroid iZone cameras, like the little, like with the little skinny cameras that like the film comes out of. I found one of those new in the package the other day for like 89 cents at Salvation Army. I'm like, I'm not going to look at sold comps on this. I'm just going to buy it.
So it's kind of like background knowledge.
What was that?
It's kind of like background knowledge. Like you've known like different items and just seeing on YouTube and basically other things.
Yeah. You just watch. I don't as much anymore. But when I first started, I did watch a ton of YouTubers, like what sold videos, and try to figure out what things sell. Like, I mean, most of my knowledge came from YouTube, but now, and I probably should watch other people's what sold videos, but I just don't now. I just kind of go off my own knowledge. But yeah, I mean, if something's expensive, you know, if, like the other day I found at the Goodwill, there was like this baby monitor. It was like a baby monitor with the camera and like a sock that has like a heart rate monitor in it. I know people are just obsessed with their babies. And it was a Goodwill for like $220. And I looked up comps a lot on that. Like I sat there for probably 10 minutes looking up comps, like looking up sell-through rates, how many were listed. I looked at the camel link to try to see how often it sells, because that's a big risk, because I don't pay $220 for it, and I think I have it listed right now for $320. So after fees, $320 free shipping. So it's not going to make a ton of money on a $220 investment, maybe like 40% or so. So, you know, it's just how much risk are you doing? I'm not going to sit and look up sold comps on something for 10 minutes if it's 50 cents. You know, I'm just going to buy it.
Right.
Something new package for 50 cents that I have a good feeling about, I'll just buy it.
So Bolo Buddy says, Joey Bada Bing 22, you are so calm tonight. It's really my nerves. I just when I was on YouTube, guys, I was just watching to watch. Like I've watched every single video, and just being able to talk to him, I'm like so nervous. I'm still nervous. I don't even know why. Like I feel like we're best friends, but like it's still like I feel like like someone said starstruck in the comments. I'm just really blessed to just be able to talk to Josh. So I'm kind of being weird right now. I shouldn't be, but
I'm blessed to be here, man.
I appreciate it. So let's kind of like, let me loosen up a little bit. When I saw that you couldn't go live with Big Drift, the girl from Alaska, and you were like, all right, I'm going to drop the StreamYard in the chat. And I was working, and I'm driving, and I'm like, I stopped. I put the truck in park. I was like, I just want to talk to you, you know? I stopped everything I was doing. I didn't care about anything in the world. I was like, I want to jump on here. And I jumped in the live stream, and I was like, I hope he picks me. Like, I just want to talk to you, like, you know? And I'm waiting, and you're picking people, and it's going through, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go. Like, I gotta work, you know? I can't like stand like still. Like the scanner, I have to move. Like I can't stay still for like a certain amount of time, because they'll see that I'm not working, you know?
Yeah.
So a couple people go by, and I was like, and the time is like almost like the hour's almost up, because you know you only go for like an hour or so. I was like, please just pick me, you know? And then I got on there and then the Wi-Fi was like going bad. I'm like, dude, I gotta make this work. Like I have to. And then I was just so happy to talk to you, dude. Like I was like, I
No.
made my first YouTube video, but like I was like, I felt like a little girl. I swear to God. Like I just was so excited to talk to you. You have no idea. Because I never talk in chats. I was never the type of person just to be like, you know, I'm going to type and just talk to everybody. I really wasn't. I wanted to watch you, you know? And
Mhm.
then like now, like this is like my life now, you know? So it's just like so cool to sit here and talk to you like in real life. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, man, you made me feel so special that day. I
Yeah.
mean, it's people all the time. People tag me on stuff on Instagram, and they're like, you know, it's like I think today somebody tagged me in like their Monday stack video or the picture, and they're like, you know, a few sales. I'm not a big timer like Rally Roots or Renzi or Harry Tornado. I'm like, that's just crazy that you guys think that I'm the same as those guys. You know,
Uh-huh.
like because
Man,
I'd never sold anything on eBay until Halloween of 2018. So like, I feel like I'm still super new. I don't know anything. I've made a ton of mistakes and I've learned a lot, but I definitely don't consider myself a big timer or anything like that. So it's awesome that you think so highly of me. I really
no,
appreciate it.
it just feels like when I was little, I always looked up to Derek Jeter. I don't know if you played or do you know baseball? Like
I
Derek
know who
Jeter?
Derek Jeter is.
Derek Jeter, yeah, I love the Yankees and I played baseball my whole life and he was the person I looked up to. And when I went to a Yankees game for the first time, you know, I was taking pictures with my digital camera. I was little. I was like 10 and I was in New York and I'm sitting here shaking like taking the picture. That's how I felt talking to you. Like I just was like I'm talking to like the most famous person on like YouTube with reselling like and when I told my parents, like when I got off with you, I was like, I called my mom, I called my girl. I was like, I just talked to Harry Tornado. They're like, who is that? And I'm just like, it's Josh. Like, what are you doing? Like, I just didn't even know what to say. Like, I feel like that right now. Like, that's how I feel. Um, but, and I was like,
Well, I
go
can name
watch.
about
Like,
5,000 people that are more famous than me, but I mean, it's weird, man. Like, I mean, I guess not weird because it comes with the territory. Like, I feel like, you know, I try hard to make my videos educational and entertaining, and people generally appreciate them. This one guy on my last video said that my voice and persona were awful and annoying, and he was unsubscribing. So some people don't like me, but for the most part, people have been really encouraging. And I feel like if you put out, you know, decent content, people are going to like it. And the more people that like it and subscribe, the better chance you have of making, you know, quote fans. Like I was at Salvation Army the other day and it was pouring down rain and I was leaving, running to my truck, and I heard somebody over there say, "Harry Tornado!" Like turned around and waved and just jumped in my truck. Like, I'm sorry, I would come say hey to you, but it's raining. So
that's awesome.
it's still like weird to, I don't know, like when people get nervous talking to me, I'm like, you realize I'm just I'm just like you.
I
I'm
know
just
exactly.
slightly more experienced, I guess.
That's what I think too. Like I just feel like I'm a normal person. Like now that I have like a little fan base and it's the best fan base and it's people that, you know, they love reselling and they love, you know, each other and it's just the best community. What do you
Laughing at Emily Conway's comment is it reminds me of Ron Swanson when he was starstruck by the other woodworking people. That was such a funny episode. Ron's like, "Oh my gosh, that guy's he's the creator of the bifold plane jig," and his wife was like, "Go talk to him." He's like, "No, I'm sure he gets bombarded with fans all the time." And it's like the camera shows us like the most boring looking old white dude just sipping his drink completely alone. Nobody around him. That's me.
That's how I feel. Like I'm just like that. But yeah, man, I just want to say thank you just for everything. I mean, you might not think like I'm just saying it from the bottom of my heart. Like I've been watching you from literally since November. And that's when I learned about eBay. And I was like, I found Rally Roots and I really like watching them. But then when I found it was like a suggested video and I was like, dude, this guy's like my best friend, like that I've never had. Like, And I
And now
watched,
we are best friends.
yeah. And I watched, dude, I'm telling you, I was watching YouTube videos like crazy. I couldn't even stop. I was like waiting till she went to bed to watch videos. Like it's just awesome. Like I am starstruck. I really am. I just thank you, bro. Thank you.
I think I've always wanted to be, and I will say, I don't know, like when I used to do my phone consultations, people would say things like, oh, you're much nicer than this other content creator that doesn't respond to emails and doesn't want to talk to me on the phone and stuff. So I will say that the bigger your channel gets, the harder it is to keep up with all of the requests. You know, like I try to respond to all my Instagram DMs. I don't do phone consultations anymore just because that was a lot to keep up with. I don't respond to all my emails. I definitely respond to all my Instagram most of the time. I think I've ignored like 5 of them total. But it's like stuff like people want me to come on their show and they don't even follow me on Instagram. They've never commented on video. I have no idea who they are. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But I always defend, like, for instance, I'll use Ryan Roots because he and I are friends who are like, oh, you're not a jerk like Ryan. I'm like, Ryan's a really nice guy. Yeah. Like, he's just because I sent him a message asking him a really dumb question and he never responded. I'm like, I mean, it's one guy, you know, they've got Callie and Ben and stuff, but he can't respond to everything. So,
right.
I mean, they've got like 140,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's one thing. I mean, we all know that the people that don't really participate in their communities, like they barely respond to comments, you know, barely even read comments. But that's just how they want to run their channels. You know, I can't control that. So I tried to make the decision early on in my YouTube career, I guess, that I would try to be as responsive as I possibly could, you know, regardless of how many subscribers somebody had or how many, you know, whatever. I'd focus more on like how much they participate in my community. Like if I've seen your name pop up on Instagram and YouTube comments and live streams a bunch, like, and then you reach out and want me to do a show on your channel, I'm much more likely to do that for you rather than some random person. Like I'd rather, like somebody who's been subscribed to my channel since I was at 800 subscribers wants me to join their channel for live and they've got 30 subscribers. I'm much more likely to do that show than somebody that's got 50,000 subscribers that just found me this week and just wanted me to jump on their show just for AdSense or something. Right. So it doesn't really matter about subscribers or anything. Yeah. But again, the more you get, it's just a lot of juggling, you know? Like I had to, 2 Aussie thrifters. I think they invited me on a live stream before, and it was in like March, I think, when like YouTube was going crazy for me. I was like growing like crazy, and I was like, I love you guys. I would love to do another time, but I can't right now. They've got so much going on. eBay was going well too, so I don't know. It's just a lot to handle. So if I ever ignore you, and I know who you are, please don't hold it against me. I'm not trying to ignore you. It's just
no. It's hard. You know, I mean, I only have 1,000 subscribers, and you know, even with Instagram, I have 1,000. I have a bunch of friends from high school, so it's mainly those friends, and then all my new friends from reselling. But it is hard to keep up with everybody and try to have a life and try to have everything. And you try to do the best you can. I mean, I try to, but it will get out of hand. I want to talk to everybody, every individual I want to talk to, but I know one day it's going to be hard,
Yeah. And there's a difference too between like, I guess being YouTube friends with people and being like actual friends. Like this one guy emailed me and like straight up asked if we could be friends. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And, in a nice way, I was like, yeah, I'd love to be friends, whatever. Yeah. But I think he meant it like, I'm going to talk to you all the time and we're going to actually be friends. And I would try to respond when I could. And he had sent me one email, like a really long one, like 2 pages. And I never responded. And he was like, I thought you said we were going to be friends. I'm like, sorry, dude. Like, chill out. So I don't know. It's weird, but Yakov Ben says that's scary. I mean, he was nice. Like I responded to him eventually and like explained it to him. But it comes with the territory,
Yeah. So, dude, remember when I sent you that video that I had the package from Rally Roots?
Yeah.
Dude, I sent that to you. Like you were the first person. I was like, dude, what do I do? Like, I have a package from Rally Roots from my route. Like, the odds are just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, um, I couldn't even believe it that I had that package, and I sent it to him, and he was like, "Yo, dude, that is so awesome." And I was like, "Yeah, man, it's a small world. Like, just think about it. All the routes in my office, there's like 40,
Mhm.
and it was on my route. I feel like it was meant to be like for that
It
to happen.
was.
Like, it was just nuts. Um, but yeah. So, you said you had a couple questions for me.
Yeah, they're just fun questions, I guess.
Okay.
What was your first passion in life? Like your very first memory when you're like, this is what I want to do forever. Like I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna do this, I'm going all in. It's
Like
probably
for
something stupid when you were a kid and you just
yeah.
thought like for me, for example, so on Nickelodeon, there used to be like a 3-point challenge, like a basketball thing, where like all these kids would come up and have a 3-point contest. And I was like, I'm gonna be on that show. I'm gonna freaking do it. So like 2 weeks, I was just practicing just 3-point shots all the time.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. That this is who I am now, mom. Like you just have to accept it. I was like 8 years old. That was terrible.
That's
But I was passionate. Like that's the first thing I remember. I was like true, like my little 8-year-old heart was set on going on that Nickelodeon show.
That's awesome. My thing was I wanted to be a baseball player. That was my biggest thing in life. My dad actually he tried me out for football because he loved football and he played football in high school. I went on the football field. I got handed the ball and I saw these big kids running at me, and I was like 5, 6, and these kids were running at me. I turned around, ran the other way, and ran off the field. Like I ran off and I went to the car because I that was it. I just couldn't do it. And I told my dad, I was like, I can't. I'm little, I'm 5, 6 years old. And I was like, I want to play baseball. And like, that was it, man. I played baseball and I played 7 days a week. I played for this travel team called the Rockets, and I was in high school at the time. And I really thought that I was going to make it. And we went to East Cobb. It was in Georgia, and we got 7th in the tournament. And that's how our name got out there. And it's a crazy story, but the kids that were on my team, they were all kind of like rich kids, and
Mm-hmm.
we didn't, not that we didn't have the money, but we had money, but it just they looked at me like I wasn't part of the clan,
Yeah.
and they kicked me off the team only because of like they didn't really like me, and I couldn't believe it because I'm friends with everybody, and I
Mm-hmm.
try to be as nice as possible, but just it was sad. And I didn't make like the next team was junior year in high school. So that would have been like where college coaches would have been looking at me like, and I could have made it, but I just kind of like was like, you know what, that was it, man. And I finished high school. I played on the all-star team as a senior. I had a couple hits that game and that was it. I just said goodbye and that was it. And, yeah, man, I always want to be a baseball player. That was my dream. But
Yeah, looking back, like my granddad got me into playing golf when I was like 4. Like I've been playing golf my whole life. That's probably like my first real passion. Like because he worked at the golf course in our town, and I would in the summers I would go hang out with him, and they would let me play golf all day long for free, and I would just have to like pick up range balls and wash golf carts and stuff.
okay.
And I would be out there, 11, 12 years old, just walking. I'd walk like just like 97 holes of golf in one day, like just until I could not walk anymore. And I feel, I don't say it's a regret in my life, but I feel like I was pretty good in high school. Like I didn't have nice golf clubs. Like we had money, but like, I don't know, golf clubs are expensive. So it wasn't like, I don't know, like, so like now, like my brother-in-law played lacrosse, and I've been to like 10 of his lacrosse games. His parents went to all of his lacrosse games. I just see all these kids where their parents and families are so involved in sports. And like I played golf for 5 years from 8th grade to 12th grade. and my mom only came to one match in 5 years. And granted, they're like super far away, you know, like she had to work and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But it was like I was just doing golf, and that was just the thing I was doing, and I didn't really have much support. You know, my granddad got me into it, but he, you know, I had the same set of clubs from like 7th grade to 12th grade. And I just feel like if I had a more, I don't want to talk bad about my family, but if I had a more supportive family, like with golf, you've got to go all in. You've got to get lessons.
Yeah.
You've got to play all the time. And I feel like I had enough talent as a young person to where if I would have had that supportive family base and like the money that it takes to grow a decent golfer, I definitely could have played in college, and I might could have played on like a you know, a web.com tour or something like that. I'd been a professional golfer, but not made millions of dollars. Just spent like, you know, $100,000 a year or something.
That's really cool though. That would have been awesome.
So I don't know. So I've made a decision now, like with my kids, like I would love it. Like if I want my wife and I to be in a position financially to where if our kids show promise in a sport and they have that passion that I remember seeing in myself, like I want to be able to say, okay, you don't have to worry about a part-time job. Just get decent grades in school. And, you know, it's ideally, I would love to have a son that played golf because I would like take him to the golf course as much as he wanted, you know, pay for lessons, pay for nice clubs, put him in outside tournaments, you know, travel and stuff. Cause that's what you have to do. Like if you've got a kid who wants to be a professional sport player, whatever the sport is, you've got to invest in them. They're not going to, I don't think there's very few people that have gone from high school to college to pro sports without a family that is fully invested in that.
Oh, for sure.
Like baseball. I mean, if you've got a family, if you're supporting yourself on baseball and you've got, you know, a cheap bat through high school and an old hand-me-down glove or something, it's going to be very difficult for you to get good enough to
my parents
high school for free. You're not doing the paid summer leagues and stuff like that. It's gonna be hard for you to keep up with your competition. You know, the guys the same age as you that their parents are spending $5 or $10 a year, you know, going to tournaments and all that stuff. So
yeah, my parents, they did everything possible to make sure that I had the right equipment, and like my dad and my mom, they did everything they could just to get me like the bat that I wanted or the glove. You know, they always dropped everything and just, you know, I think my mom and dad are probably in here. Thank you, mom and dad, for everything you've done for me. But yeah, I completely understand that.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't want to say it's a regret because if I was a professional golfer right now, I wouldn't be on your channel. I wouldn't be doing it now. You know, I'd be completely life. But I don't know.
Sorry. No,
what could have been.
What you saying that question again, now I feel like this is my dream. Like this is what I want to do. Like I love being a mailman and doing this now, like being on eBay, and because I bring my packages to work. Like it's just so easy. It's just so, and I feel like I'm not working. If you can understand that, like I don't feel like I'm working. I feel like it's fun. Like I love it. That's how what work should be, you know. And I don't think it's work. You know, I think it's just fun.
Yeah, 100%. That's I don't regret anything I'm doing now. You know, I'm just curious about what my life could have looked like if given different circumstances, which I guess we all do at some point. But don't say I regret anything now.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any more questions?
Who was your first celebrity crush?
Well, it would definitely no. It would have to be either probably Derek Jeter, or I like Ariana Grande. I like definitely Ariana Grande.
Those two are very similar. Derek Jeter or Ariana Grande.
Yeah. How about you?
So in middle school, I was absolutely obsessed with Ashley Simpson. I just thought she was the most beautiful thing to ever grace the presence of the earth. I don't even know why. She's like the most boring looking girl in the world. I was just like 13. I was like, she's the one. She's the one for me. Even though she's 15 years older than me and has no idea who I am.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh, you know what? You know Zoe 101? You ever watch that show?
For sure, man.
The main girl, Zoe. She kind of
14
reminds
years
me
old, year old people that went to like college for high school.
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, what high school just lets them ride scooters and just do whatever they want all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Their apartment's like 45,000 square feet.
That's awesome.
That was a fun show. That's the thing about Nickelodeon shows. They really portrayed like all of the people in Nickelodeon shows and Disney shows for the most part were like rich white people or just rich people in general, mostly white people, but just rich people like Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
Like their room was like the size of my house. And like, I get it that it's like a set, you know, and they need to do that. But we watched the Even Stevens movie the other day and I forgot, but the dad was a lawyer and the mom was a senator. I'm like, this is unrealistic.
But any last words for the chat here? I just want to say thank you for everyone being in here. 46 of you. If you could smack that like button for me, it would be
really appreciated. Already got 47 likes, man. You got more likes than viewers here.
Really?
You're doing well. You got one dislike. I'm gonna give you another dislike. There you go. You got two. I'm just kidding. I'll take it back.
So
no, man. Thanks for having me on. I had fun. I appreciate it. Thank you everybody for showing up. It was fun.
So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to close this out. So, all right, guys, this is Joey Bada Bing 22, your local mailman. And thank you, Josh, Harry Tornado. Everyone have a great night and see you later.
Peace.